WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. We have team coverage as strong and severe thunderstorms sweep across Kentucky, and I'm tracking additional big storms into the overnight just ahead.
Just a small example of a lot of damage in Woodford County after Sunday's strong line of storms.
Why your outgoing mail might be the target for con men. What you need to know to protect yourself coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
A strong, damaging line of storms swept through the state this afternoon, and more is on the way later. Our First Alert Severe Weather Day continues tonight.
We have been tracking reports of trees down and flash flooding. Debbie Manning sent us this picture from Fleming County. This is her backyard on Days Mill Road. We'll get a look at more damage in just a moment, but we begin with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. He shows us what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender right now. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, waves of thunderstorms, Amber and Sam, continuing to drench parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky, and now beginning to see some more storms trying to pop just to the north of the Ohio River, and that's a sign of things to come. Let's get you caught up on what is going on as of now. Worst of the weather is just minutes away from leaving southeastern Kentucky and entering into parts of Virginia. Still flooding rains here. The potential is certainly there for some quick high water issues. Damaging winds likely, though the leading edge of the storms not as strong as what we were seeing a little bit ago, crossing out of the Pike and Letcher County areas. Now we get south of Hazard. Thunder and lightning here is still very prolific, though the lightning is not as strong as what we had a little bit ago. London had some reports of trees down earlier. Thunder and lightning here beginning to kick back up into parts of Pulaski County, though look what is to your northwest. So folks right now into Campbellsville, Liberty, parts of Casey County, down into Adair County and Pulaski County, Wayne County, watch this big thunderstorm. This is huge. It's out on its own too. It has a hint of some rotation that is showing up within this thunderstorm. When you get one big lone storm that's out on its own in this type of environment, you can get some rotation, and that's what we would look for a quick spin up of a tornado. But from Springfield and Lebanon, not a whole lot that is currently ongoing, but just to the west of Lebanon, look at that big clustering of thunder and lightning that is coming through. And again, we're going to keep an eye on that. Flash flood warning still out for parts of the Lexington metro, but notice how we've dried the skies up a little bit. Extensive flash flooding into sections of Fleming County. A little earlier today. A lot of water in the ground from recent rains, a lot of water falling from the skies today. Now look at what we see all of a sudden the last few minutes. This may be the beginning of another complex of thunderstorms trying to crank up here in the southern parts of Ohio. That extends back to the northwest where thunderstorms are ongoing, and those thunderstorms here already prompting a tornado watch out for much of Illinois into the western parts of Indiana. That is a tornado watch that will go through the rest of the evening. But guys, the storms that are cranking here are going to wind up across Kentucky later tonight, and another round comes your way tomorrow. We are nowhere near done with the threat for severe weather and flash flooding. When I come back in a little bit, we'll walk you through the rest of that forecast that continues to look very, very stormy.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, the storms that rolled through this afternoon left behind a trail of damage here in Lexington.
Heavy rain caused some flash flooding, and strong winds knocked down some trees and power lines. Our Mike Linden is live in Lexington along Bryan Station Road, where a tree fell on some power lines. Mike, is the road closed? Looks like it's partially open.
Well, there's only one lane of the road closed, Sam, so traffic has been coming by here quite slowly over the past hour or so that we've been here. But the one lane that is closed, as you can see, there's a pretty large tree limb sitting on top of the power lines, which we're told caused the line to fall onto the roadway. So this green power line here, that is a live wire sitting on the roadway. Crews are waiting for crews from Kentucky Utilities to arrive to make the area safe once again and to reopen this second lane. Crews with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet are here directing traffic, and this is just the first of many trees that we've seen down so far. Earlier this evening, A portion of Ironworks Pike was closed between Paris Pike and Russell Cave as a tree was down. Someone tried to drive around that tree and got stuck in the saturated ditch on the side of the road. So that's certainly something to keep in mind, that it's not just the roadways that are covered with water in some spots, but the ground is super saturated as well. So we're still waiting for crews to arrive to clear this scene and to reopen the second lane to traffic. Live in Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. There are reports of water covering some streets in Lexington. This is video of high water on Kingtree Court at Lombardi Drive, which is in the Eastland area. We have a crew at the scene who says people are still driving through that water, but it is not threatening any homes.
We're also tracking reports of storm damage in Scott County. Sam Smith is live in Sadieville, where crews are trying to remove a tree that fell on a power line. How's traffic affected there, Sam?
You're looking at Cincinnati Road near Sadieville. I'm going to zoom the camera in to the power line that's hanging over the roadway. As of right now, traffic is flowing as normal. I'm going to zoom back out here. You can see smaller vehicles are able to pass underneath the power line without any issues. Police are out here making sure semis aren't coming through, bigger vehicles, so they don't clip that power line that's hanging. And I'm going to move the camera over to the tree that's causing all the damage. I'm told it fell down around 2:30 this afternoon when the storms came through the area. There's a grocery store nearby here that's without power as a result. Now, KU crews arrived here a little while ago. They're assessing the damage, and I expect them to begin to work on repairing this down line shortly. Folks here believe that it's still live, so they got to take care of that first. Earlier today, throughout several areas of the county, there were downed trees, but it seems those areas have been cleaned up at this point. The areas that involved the roadway being blocked, crews from state police and the sheriff's office have been out taking care of that. But as of right now, there's no timetable for when this down line will be cleaned up, but crews are on scene here and are ready to take care of it. Live in Scott County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Sam, thank you. The strong line of storms yesterday left behind quite a mess for some people here in central Kentucky. Several trees came crashing down in Woodford County, and one of those trees ended up hitting a house. No one was hurt, but as Phil Pendleton tells us, it had crews racing to clean up before the next round of storms. He continues our First Alert Weather Team coverage.
It's been a hot and sweaty day for many along McKee Lane in Woodford County. Many crews converged on the Cooper property where a tree toppled over.
It blew the window out.
Crashed into the master bedroom where Teresa Cooper said she's thankful she wasn't taking a Sunday afternoon nap.
That's what my daughter said. You usually take a nap. If I took a nap, it would have been a goner.
In fact, she and her husband were both in meetings when the storm came through.
You're stunned, but we're happy that nobody was at home and nobody was hurt, so it's just a house.
Tree knocked shutters off the outside into the master bedroom, but insulation piled on top of that.
There's water damage and structural damage that we believe the front of the house is cracked, and so we're waiting now for a crane to take the tree off and then to tarp it.
Water poured in through a hole in the roof.
We've got a new skylight, don't we?
Poured from the second floor into the basement, causing them to scramble to move furniture and belongings around. A lot of cleanup and repairs to come, yet amid all of this,
Thankful. Just thankful.
they say they know that it could always be worse. In Woodford County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Well, they have a lot to clean up there. The Coopers tell us they do have a place to stay while repairs are made to that home. If you have eyewitness pictures or videos of the storm, send them to us. Just look for the eyewitness section of WKYT.com or post them to our Facebook page.
It's called Operation Homeless. Con men recruiting the homeless to steal mail from small businesses. And there are several reasons why.
Hey, do you want to make some quick, easy money?
That is the line postal inspectors say con men use to lure the homeless into counterfeit check schemes. They're trying to get the word out to small business owners about how these schemes work and how to secure their mail.
When business checks are stolen out of the mail, those checks are then counterfeited, and then third parties are recruited to go and cash these checks at local banks.
It all begins with recruiters.
Their role is to find someone that is capable of cashing a check. So in most instances, it's someone that has some form of identification on them.
The check cashers include the homeless.
Look in urban areas where people are down on their luck and need some quick, easy money and may either not know that what they're doing is illegal or not really care.
There have been reports of recruiters hitting up soup kitchens, plasma donation centers, and public parks. When potential check cashers don't have a valid ID, the con men dress them up to look respectable.
We have reports where in this scheme where some money is invested to bring these folks to a store, buy them a new shirt or a jacket, or sometimes we've seen a traffic vest, to make them appear that they've been working.
Businesses are targeted for a reason.
A business or corporate bank account's can have more money in it typically than a personal checking account.
Also, most small businesses don't reconcile their statements as often as individuals, so a fake check can evade detection. Another reason? Mail security.
Business parks that maybe don't have cluster box units, so business parks that still have a traditional mailbox that's unsecure. They look for small or local businesses that might be in a rural area that they can just drive up to a mailbox and steal a check.
Postal inspectors have some simple advice.
Nobody leaves mail in their mailbox overnight or on a Saturday when nobody's going to be around in an unsecure mailbox.
So take an extra step. If you're mailing checks or important documents, go to a post office or drop them in a blue mailbox. All eyes may be on Kentucky's health care system during this fall's election.
And new polls show that Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is in the top tier of presidential candidates. Bill Bryant has the details in the bottom line.
Good evening. The rest of the country may be very closely watching Kentucky this fall for clues about any emerging trends heading into next year's national elections. And a key issue is health care. As the Wall Street Journal reported today, Governor Steve Beshear created a highly regarded state exchange. He even attended a State of the Union address at the invitation of the president. Beshear also expanded Medicaid coverage to include more than 400,000 people who previously had no insurance. Now Democratic nominee for Governor Jack Conway indicates he will follow many of Beshear's policies, while Republican nominee Matt Bevin promises a rollback of the state's health care commitments. Many of next year's candidates are expected to keep a close eye on the Kentucky race. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker became the 15th Republican to announce today that he is running for president. He said in a campaign video, America needs new, fresh leadership with big, bold ideas from outside of Washington. The conservative Walker is now setting out on a tour of early primary states, and he'll finish the week in the caucus state of Iowa. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul appears to be on track to take part in the early presidential debates. New polling shows him running in the top tier of candidates. Paul's presidential campaign has raised about $7 million. That does not include money raised by allied groups that also support him. Richmond could be on the verge of hiring a new city manager after searching for months. The Richmond Register reports Mayor Jim Barnes will recommend longtime Somerset Budget Director Jimmy Hogg to be manager. There were 96 applicants for the top job in Richmond city government. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Lexington Mayor Jim Gray has announced a change to a downtown street, but this change has nothing to do with construction.
In honor of the Lexington Theater Company's production of 42nd Street, Short Street has been temporarily renamed for the title of the show. Gray also gave Tony Award-winning lead actress Karen Zimba a key to the city.
You will not find 42nd Street on any map in Lexington, but this show will likely have folks remembering the Opera House and the Lexington Theater Company by a new address, the corner of 42nd Street and Broadway.
Sounds like it fits. 42nd Street runs from July 23rd to the 26th at the Lexington Opera House. Performance times are Thursday through Saturday at 8 p.m. and then at 2 p.m. on Saturday and on Sunday. And look at that.
Yeah.
Great
and
preview of the show to come.
Great show, too.
Yep.
So go out and see it if you can.